This is Mike B. I submitted a Zendesk ticket, reviewed it with eKIFM, Chris K, and found some minor issues that need to resolve before we resubmit. So I'm going to demonstrate what those minor differences or changes need to be, and make that so into a new OMP and a new version of the report document file that I attached to it in validation. So first off, I'm going to go remote, and I'm going to choose to do all of the work for this repackaging on my remote desktop. So I'm on that desktop within the Don Howe building. A couple of reasons for doing that. So making an OMP sometimes can generate errors if you're doing it outside the firewall. So by doing it on that machine at the Don Howe, I eliminate that possibility. And the other is that I keep all of the working documents, and for that matter, the BIRT related reporting items on my F drive. So even though I created some of them on my laptop, right now I can open them all up from here, from my remote session. So that's interesting. Copy, there we go. All desktops. So I'm using DexPot. It's a virtual desktop tool in order to keep so many balls up in the air. It helps me. So right now I'm looking at, I think they're all CP related reports. So going to Microsoft Word. And I'm opening up from Microsoft Word. I'm going to browse. This PC. F. Documents. And this is where I keep all of the BIRT workspaces, is under that 12 folder. And that's where my document should be that I'm looking for. I don't see them there. Okay. back here. I'm going to change this to save as to 02. So it's clearly a new OMP. We'll call it 1 and save it. And the inconsistencies are here. We want query query query. And here we're going to change this to BIRT external. There we go. I'm going to save that. File, save as. Okay. This PC. That's why. F documents 12. There we go. So now it's on that machine. So I'm going to close it here. And open it up in my remote desktop. And now I can browse here. And I should see it here. There it is. And I'm going to go ahead and add a version 2 on here. So that it's clear that we've got a different version. Save that. And so what I'm going to do is start UAT Google Chrome. I'm going to get rid of that floating meeting controls and open up chats in case anybody's trying to reach me. There we go. So now back to the remote desktop. And as oh, oh, there it is. There we go. There we go. So refactoring 2022 11 12 01 01 to 2022 11 12 02 01. Back here. So I'm working from the System tab because that's where we can do everything cleanly. And what I'd done is I tagged everything with this tag. So now what I'm going to do is one by one copy, rename the copied version to a suitable name, and then change this tag to 0201, and then repackage it first in BIRT, rebind it in BIRT, and then repackage it in the OMP. So this one doesn't need to change. And really, this one doesn't need to change either. How about so titles are consistent. It's just these. So this one's changing. This part of the name, I believe. This one. This one. This one. This one. I think that was my Pomodoro completing. So I'm going to start that. And I'm not going to do any work for a minute. I'm just going to try to gauge where I am. Here we go. So these are fine. This is BIRT query, BIRT query. BIRT query, BIRT query. So those are all consistent now. Saving that. Pulling this back up. And I guess first I'll look at the external queries. And then I'll look at the other queries. So for example, this one says external BIRT, it should say BIRT external. Tell you what, for consistency, I really ought to put a different version of each of these external queries out there. So these will be version 2 for each. That way, when I make changes, the existing BIRT report, the version that we have out there, will still work as a reference, but everything else will work against the new versions will work against the new versions of these BIRT queries will work against the new version of these BIRT external queries. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to change the tag to 11/12/02/01 for the new stuff. There we go. Starting again. So copy. So here's the copy. Version 2. And change this tag to 2 and save. Now, when I've rebound the query, I'm going to give it the same name as this. And do away with this. So it should be version 1. Basically, we're starting over with version 1 of the newly rebound BIRT. Okay, so there's Okay. Okay. So there's version 2 of this. And copy this one. Here we go. And change this to the same thing. Okay. I got a version 2, a version 2, and one more here. There we go. Change this to 2. I was really curious why this doesn't float to the bottom. Well, what happens if I change this to 2? I should just see this working set. And I do version 2, version 2, version 2. Okay. Now change this to query. And change this to %. And why am I not seeing 7 queries? I would have expected to see 7. Okay, let's try this again. Change it to all. Okay. External query. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Didn't I count 7? All right, four queries and 3 external queries. So that is correct. So change this to query and move on. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So take the bottom one. And it says BIRT. We got to change that to BIRT query. So copy. Change this to CST receiving I before E except after C. And in special cases like receiving. And this should say BIRT query. And this will say version 2. And this will say 2. Okay. Got it. That's interesting. That didn't seem to change. Wow. Didn't I not save it? So that's the new name. Save. That saved it. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay. So that to this. Copy. BIRT query 2. Okay. This one. Okay. So if I show this again as 12:02:01, change this one as well to 2. This one doesn't need to change. I don't need to rebind it. Now, show that again. Change this 1, 2, 3, 4. Change this to all. We should see 7 total queries. And we do. Okay. Now, version 2, version 2, version 2, version 2, version 2, version 2. So these have all changed. So this is going to go to 903. Wait a minute. Yeah, these are going to go to 903. And this one's going to go to 760. These are going to go to 760. So I change this. Advanced. Downloads. I can start it there. No, I need to change it. So 12, then we're looking for 960. There it is. 903.094, I'm sorry. That's the one. So there we go. And then open up this. And we go to the Advanced tab. And we export it. And there I can see version 2. And it's going to the proper spot. Export under this workspace. Got that one. And then I can close that. And then this one. Oh, that was an external query that I just exported. It's actually these two that I wanted. Okay. So actually that we don't need there. Would you mind muting it for about 5 minutes? Thanks. So I got those two. I'm just going to show queries here. So I got these two. This is the final one. Actually, that goes to 760,476. So I got to change this. Seven 476. Export. Wait a minute. There we go. Now, okay. Now, when I rebind all of these, they'll be going to these exported files. So I'm going to call the report the BIRT report document by these names. And it'll be version 1 in this case, because I think these are all new, except for this join report. BIRT external BIRT external. Okay, BIRT external, BIRT external, BIRT external. Version 2, version 2, version 2. All right. Now into BIRT I go. And I go to Navigator. And this is the old version of the query. BIRT is at the end of the query name. It's inconsistent actually between the report design and properties file. So import archive file. Actually, I'm going to put this into a different version here. So keep this clean. So rename this. Rename. It's out of sync with the system. Well, that's interesting. Refresh. Okay. New project. Contract. Listing by project. Office. Version 2. Oh, wait a minute. New project. Report project. Contract. CP contract. Listing by project. Office. Version 2. There we go. Now into this one, I import the new query. And looking for 760 476. 760 476. And there's that newly exported file. And I'm going to put in a new window. So everything about this version is going to remain the same. Contract listing by project office is coming from here. Everything about the new one will be coming in here. And I'm going to see what this had in terms of, this is 17 inches, so it's a ledger kind of page, sounds like. Landscape US ledger. Okay, so we can do that. So I'm going to go here and say general. Master page. Change this to landscape ledger. Insert table. Select all. So save that. And oh, and palette, I'm going to move over. So these are all sorted. So I think there's more to it than that. Let's see here. Okay, so we know that that's working. And if I was to run it, it should return data. Well, that's kind of weird. It's not returning. Oh, there it goes. There's data. Okay, good. So I'm going to stop the live stream at this point. So now it's a matter of refactoring each of the queries. So